Good morning guys, we are back with episode 8, page 8 of my children's book. If you're new here, my name is Chantal. I am a watercolour artist and illustrator. After not finding any illustrator work in the industry, I decided to write and illustrate my own children's book, and that is the journey I'm taking you guys along. Hello guys, I am so excited to take you along another episode in illustrating my children's book, and every episode starts with us sketching out the concept for the next page. And this page wasn't too hard to sketch out and to idealize because it is directly inspired by a memory from my childhood, and I want to talk a little bit about my background for this piece and the feelings that I want to encapsulate. This is my very last watercolor piece of paper before I wait for a new shipment, so hopefully it comes very soon. Let's sketch up page 8. So when I was around 2 years old, I grew up on my grandparents' property. Now you have to imagine that there are little gardens and pockets of curiosity everywhere. There are little statues, and there are forests, and there are playgrounds inside the forest. And their entire property is enclosed with big pine trees. Now right up beyond the top garden is a chicken coop. I had a best friend who was a chicken called Rosie, and Rosie used to lay eggs kind of everywhere, but my favorite mission of the day was going up to the top chicken coop beyond the last orchard under the big pine trees and seeing if Rosie had laid another egg for me to find. And that is exactly what Adena is doing right now. She is going to see if Star is perhaps lost or is stuck or is hiding in the chicken coop. And so my memory from my childhood directly is inspiring this painting right here. And I'll show you a photograph of the memory. Creating this page made me reflect on how much of my art style is influenced by my childhood and my upbringing here on Kangaroo Island, and the kind of rich environment I had to explore in, including all the beaches and the gardens and the books and everything I had at my disposal to have such a vivid and beautiful imagination. And I think it's sometimes something that we often take for granted, and we don't see how much it has impacted our life in a beautiful way. It's more so us looking at the negatives of our childhood and seeing how that trauma has impacted our life, but rarely do we go back and appreciate all of the beautiful things. And I think that creating art has really allowed me to reflect on unlocking the past can allow me to move forward and become a better artist. Hey guys, I've just popped down to Mitre 10 and we're gonna go grab some tape because I have no tape to finish all the washes that I want to do today, and I feel like that's such a good task to do, so that's what I want to finish today with. I'm gonna go, it's so quiet. guys, it is a brand new week and today I'm going to be working on all the details of the little chicken shed. We have some very unfortunate news though. My lovely expensive camera has broken. Well, the lens won't attach to the camera base and I've tried everything. It just will not recognize the lens and I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to Adelaide in 2 weeks. I'm going to take the camera up to where I bought it from and hopefully I get a new lens under warranty. But for the next 2 weeks we have to go back to filming on my phone, which is very unfortunate because it is a pain in the ass to film on my phone and export that footage. But for you guys, I do anything, okay? Anyway, let's paint for a couple hours the chicken shed. Good morning guys, it's the start of a new week and I have to finish page 8 for the weekend. I also am going away this weekend and all of next week to Adelaide, so we need to finish this baby by the end of this week for the YouTube video and for you guys to see it, because otherwise it'll be like weeks after. Also, my next shipment of watercolor paper still has not been shipped from warehouse, and they said it would be shipped over a month ago. So we've been waiting for that for a few weeks, over a month. Still hasn't been shipped, still hasn't arrived to the warehouse. So I'm kind of freaking out. So there's probably going to be like a good 4 weeks between episode 8 and episode 9, because I just don't have my next shipment of watercolor paper, and I didn't leave it to the last minute. Like, I ordered it in advance, like a pre-order from where I get my watercolor paper from. I'm not sharing that information because it's so fucking hard to get and it still hasn't come. Anyway, we're gonna go work on page 8 today and all the little details. I'm gonna try and finish all the details for the house and ADENA, and then the next day I'll do like all the background and then we'll be finished, which is super exciting. We are on the constant search to improve our work and our skills in order to become a better artist. We are rarely at a stage where we are content with the art we are creating, and the flaws in our work constantly jump out at us. We are always searching for a way we can expand our techniques, whether that is to become more impressive or to be more skilled so we can create the art we want. I think it's sometimes really important to reflect back on what do we really want? What do we really need in order to communicate our subject, our mission, our feeling in art? Because perhaps what we need in order to achieve what we desire to communicate is already in our repertoire, is already in our skill set, and the outside influences of the world, of capitalism, of the constant comparison makes us believe we need to be something more in order to contribute to the world again. But in fact, what we need for our own goals, we already have. That was a little journal entry from reflecting on page 7 and page 8. I know that I want to bring more depth into my work through contrast, as sometimes the perspective in my illustrations can appear a little flat in that there's no shadow, there's no contrast. And I also know that I want to be more realistic in my work, especially the facial expressions and ADENA, in the sense of this artistry of having my own art style, but how do I embark on the journey of self-improvement while also staying true to my own art form, my own art style, and the necessities I need in order to communicate my story? And I think perhaps in some pages the work doesn't need more depth, as the story is already being communicated through my current art style. I think every time I work on a new page, I need to reflect and I need to ask myself, where does my drive of self-improvement come from? And when is it necessary to evolve my story? And when is it not? Guys, we are nearly finished page 8, which is super exciting. I'm really trying to find balance in my art style and what I want to bring into the next pages, and how I really want to take my work to new heights, but also stay true to my passion and my soul and why I create. And I think I've kind of finding that balance along this journey, and it comes with not putting so much pressure on myself to perform a certain way. Yeah, I don't know, it's all about listening to yourself and to others and honing in on what you love. Anyway, I leave for Adelaide tomorrow for my art workshop, and I'm going to be gone for nearly a week into a Thursday, just back in time for Easter. And I really wanted to get this page out to you guys before I leave, and I think I'm going to finish it today. I'm probably going to spend another 2 hours on it, and then I can photograph it and like film it all, and like I'm so excited to get the video out to you guys, because I just, it's been a hot minute since the other page. It's reflection time. Welcome. So you know what? I'm going to really struggle with this reflection, because this painting didn't really have its difficulties. There wasn't really anything that I had to severely overcome. It was a nice piece, and sometimes we just have these beautiful in-between moments, especially where we are right now in the book. We're like one page away from starting the adventure, and I know the next 2 pages are going to be very difficult, or like very exciting as well. I'm very, very excited to paint them. So this was a piece that was working me up for that excitement. Let's start with what I think I could do better. Again, I think the shadows could be stronger, and there could be like light falling on it. But you know what? I didn't really want that, because there is a lot of kind of contrast in the previous page 8. So you know what, I just like how it is. There's like direct sunlight, we're in the middle of the day. Also, I just love the greenery down here. So you know what, I don't really have that many issues with this page, or many things that I really think that I could improve on, or that I could work on. And I suppose the one thing that I am wondering, which I need you guys' help on, is do I add more grass down the bottom? Do I make it like a really grassy field, or just a few grass lines there implying that it is grass is enough? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But maybe I could have had some more variation in the wood and make the wood lighter. No, you know what? I like the color wood, I feel like I'm trying to make up things that I'm like, I didn't like this we could improve on, this is negative. But you know what? I'm just satisfied with where this piece is and what this piece is. And maybe sometimes we don't need to find the negative and improve on something. Like, obviously I still want to take my work to new heights and increase the detail and the world building and the depth and contrast, but this piece is okay just how it is. We don't always need to be on a cycle of self-improvement. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching episode 8. Stay tuned to lots of commissions, lots of taking on the journey of my manufacturing, my own stickers and colouring in book, and I also am doing a fun watercolour piece to re-evaluate where my skills sit. It will be a realism portrait with the ocean theme. Yeah, stay tuned for that. You guys will love that piece. Anyway, but I will see you for page 9 and page 10. Love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video.